All right. Can you hear me? Should be good. All righty. Just going to allow a couple minutes, send out some notifications, and we'll kick things off. Big, big yawns. Also, let me know if you guys could hear some light music in the background. Love Stonk says, can we talk about how at school they use bells and buzzers like Pavlov's dog to control children? Yeah, I was just thinking about this a couple days ago, actually. Same thing. Super, super funny to think about because we've all experienced it. But are they still doing that? Is there not like some new technological advancement where they could like ping everyone's iPhone at the same time and it'll like send out a notification to you? Be like, we know you're looking at your phone anyways, kids. Audio should be good. Okay, good. Yeah, we're talking about the background music in the chat. It's not something that I want to be very loud, just light in the background. The last time I had it up a little bit higher, it was way too loud. Kind of competing against my microphone. All right, we got about 300 beautiful souls hanging out with us. We're going to say our greetings, get around to some questions, hang out with y'all for a little bit. Also, I appreciate the early super chats. It really means a lot. Grateful for your support. I'll get around to those as soon as possible. Infinite Loop, much love. Lou with the Godfather thumbnail. Appreciate you. To the moon. Hi over to New Zealand. I would really love to go to New Zealand someday. We'll see. Much love over to Melbourne, Australia. Magali, much love. Hope you're doing amazing. Cheryl, Drew, we appreciate you being here with us. Alaris, appreciate you. Matt Ball, appreciate you, brother. Hope you're doing amazing. You said great to be here. Hope all is good. Would love to get your take on something I've sent to you. Okay, for sure. I'll check it out. Bury Thy Demons Official says, Happy Saturday, everyone. Are you in a band? Is this your band? Let me know. I'll definitely check them out. Dustin, today's live stream is sponsored by Shane Gillis's Donald Trump impersonation. It is also sponsored by Nancy Pelosi's portfolio manager. It's also sponsored by the World Economic Forum. Today's live stream is sponsored by Coors Light and the NHL. So you guys didn't know, but the entire NHL, the National Hockey League, sponsors Waters Above. Yeah, you heard that right. Not just the single team, like the entire organization, as well as Hulk Hogan. Road Mansoor, I appreciate you. What are my thoughts on CMOS? Do you consume CMOS? I don't, actually. I don't have much to share about CMOS. I'm not against it, of course, because I haven't personally experienced it. And although there's a lot of respected people out there in the conversation of health and wellness, it's not been something that I've decided to give a chance, not because I have my doubts or anything of that nature. It's just because like I've put myself through the gambit of supplementation, and I'm just a big proponent for a whole food plant-based diet. And it's fine to get fancy with some stuff here and there if you're really aware of the quality of it. But just to lay a little bit of background story on this CMOS thing. It became really popular. I don't want to say mainstream, but it became really popular to those that are a little bit more enlightened, awakened to health and food. And it seems that Dr. Sebi plays probably the biggest role in the promotion and marketing of CMOS. Now, nothing against Dr. Sebi and his take on nutrition. There's a lot of truths to eating alkaline, for sure. But if you really study the tactics that he used for promoting CMOS, you'll see that he targeted effectively poor neighborhoods and their churches. And he targeted specific churches of a specific type of person that he knows he can, I don't want to say swindle, but he was really, really, really good at marketing his products, his supplements that he was purchasing and then reselling at a crazy markup. I don't know what his source originally was. I don't know if it was getting it from the Caribbean. I'm not entirely sure. But he was just flipping CMOS, and at the same time, he was selling it to his community as this like life-saving, reverse all diseases elixir of life. And that's horseshit. So yeah, he had a big financial incentive behind buying it wholesale, marking it up, targeting a specific community, coming up with a story of it being this like a miracle. And it was all for his profit. And he could have been honest and transparent. If he really wanted to help these people, he would have given it to them at a rate that was affordable. And I'm not trying to like play this game here of like anti-capitalism or any of that. There's nothing wrong with you marketing, selling the things that, but it's like you're basically just taking Mother Nature and you're taking your opinion and then you're like flipping that. And I have an issue with this because he didn't create it himself. He's just a middleman, kind of like a drug dealer. But that doesn't. I'm not saying this story to persuade, to like have anyone not try it themselves, and that's not the main reason why I myself do not consume it. But it definitely adds to my skepticism because when you learn the story about a lot of these buzzword supplements, it's the same fucking story every time, guys. It's really similar to what I just said about Dr. Sebi with CMOS. Sadly. And we've been through this so many times, and we're going to continue to go through it because the world thinks that you can cure thyself with a supplement. But that's not how we cure the body. It's not how we resolve the issues that are going on with the body. That's not how we reverse the underlining problems that are going on, or, yeah. So you need to transform your way of consuming, your way of thinking, and your overall vibrational frequency. And that will transform you more than any pill, potion, powder, supplement. Be careful out there, folks. Stay hydrated. Jupiter Creek Adventures, I appreciate you. Sending lots of love. Dean11 asks, can you tell me more about the Trinity Masterclass? Yes. So I'm working on that right now. Behind the scenes, it will be added to my Decoding Mastermind course when it's ready. And that will be free, included in the Decoding Mastermind course for anyone who already owns it. So if you've invested in that Decoding Mastermind available at watersabove.com, then when that Trinity Masterclass is ready, it will be automatically added to that course for free. No further action needed. And I've recently just added my new crypto decoding blueprint to that course as well. So that adds even more value to it. And that means more value is coming. And to give you a brief synopsis of what it's going to cover is all things Trinity. So everything that comes back to symbolism, numerology, astrology, a lot of stuff about mythology with the Trinity, but also getting into the philosophy of what the Trinity is. And if you're somebody who's taken this Decoding Mastermind course thus far and you've done the first two masterclasses, you'll know, especially with Duality Masterclass, I focus a lot on philosophy because you want to know what these things mean, right? We say this quite often. When we speak a language, a lot of the time we know the definition of the words we speak, but very rarely do we know the meaning of the words we speak. And this is where we get into etymology. And with etymology, you start to decode literally the language. And that's what you guys are fascinated by with a lot of what I share. So I put a lot of emphasis on it because I wanted to deliver something that you've never seen before, or it's something that will be a completely unique experience. So the Trinity Masterclass will have a full section dedicated to it as well. That's covering my perspective on the realm, talking about what this simulacrum is in its physical concept. And we could call that Earth, Terra, Tellus, whatever, Gaia. But I'm going to be breaking down my philosophy and my take on the realm, and I'm going to be covering that inside of the Trinity Masterclass, also getting into the Black Sun, Sola Negra, and a lot of stuff about Polaris, symbolism with that. Man, I mean, it's going to be jam-packed. I don't even know where to begin. Yeah. So with the past two masterclasses, each of them had upwards of 200 unique slides, and I'm already completed about like 140 unique slides for this Trinity Masterclass. I'm still kind of finishing up some things. I have a little bit more to add to the structure because Again, anyone who has ever gotten my courses, I focus a lot on structure. I love teaching in a way where you can learn as fast as possible, but you retain as much of the information. And with that information, there's utility. So I'm not just telling you guys stuff. I'm not just like filling your minds with information. I'm trying to have you walk away with the way to use the information and where that could actually be applied and something you're passionate about. So, hope that answers your question, Dean. Really appreciate your support. And I've gotten this question a lot lately. So hopefully that kind of clears a lot of those frequently asked questions that I get. Also, apologies with my voice. As you guys know, my business requires a lot of talking. So I'm going to do my best today, hang out with you guys as long as possible. I still have a Red Pill podcast I need to film tomorrow, but my voice is, yeah, it's been getting a lot of practice over these 3.5 years. I think I took a moment like last week because I was on a client call, and the client call, the guy that I was working with wanted to know, like, what's my take on mastery? What's my take on how to get really good at something to where it almost feels like you can enter flow state seamlessly, but also once you're in flow state, how it could feel very unique for you. Because a lot of people, when it's like their first time stepping into the entrepreneurial path, or for instance, when it comes to people that are trying to become a coach or trying to become a teacher in any capacity, a mentor, a lot of the time what you see is that they feel worried that people aren't going to be interested in what they have to say because it's not new. So there's a lot of this like I feel bad because I don't know if what I'm sharing is going to be good enough or if it's going to be new enough, like unique, right? Those are like the two analysis paralysis things that I hear quite often with my clients. And yeah, I was thinking about that a lot lately about how much art I've created behind the scenes, publicly, stuff that's completely for free on YouTube. I mean, what are we at now? Like 270 YouTube videos completely for free, covering stuff that goes back over a 3-year time horizon, some insane decodes over those years. And on top of that, live streaming for 2 hours every single week for like, what is this? 150 weeks. You get all this practice in. So I hope that encourages people. It's like you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to do this uh perfectly. And there's really no such thing as unique at the end of the day because like all information is sort of out there in the ether. We're all borrowing it and we're all helping each other remember. If anything, there's something quite egoic to this like desire to want to share something unique because everything literally has been created already. There's something that's comforting about that for me. Like that doesn't make me nervous or worried or anything. Like I like the fact that we're all one. I think it's kind of amazing that we're all kind of part of this nodal grid in a sense, connected through consciousness. And that's why I try to say often that I'm remembering, helping you remember perhaps. It's not about teaching you. Like I don't really like the vibe of that. But anyways, the big point that I'll wrap up is just practice. If you do 150 podcasts, 150 2-hour live streams, 300 YouTube videos, come on. If you've reviewed probably over 7 to 800 portfolios, like you're bound to get better at it. You're bound to get better. Like it's just it's like impossible to fail if you just keep going, if you keep creating and you just keep putting stuff out there. I want everyone to know that right now because there's a lot of people on this earth that want to be a part of this conversation. They want to share their mentality, their thoughts, their perspective, their truth. But they have fear. They're worried. They're worried people won't vibe with them. They're worried that people think they're wrong. They're worried what people think, whatever, right? Gotta you gotta push through that, guys. Like all of that limiting beliefs, they're teachers, but don't let them be boundaries. One second, let me see. Gabriel, hope you're doing amazing. Much love. I love this. Oh man, I love falafel and saunas. William, much love over to Ireland. Jai Chef, appreciate you. Darren Walsh, I appreciate the super chat. Sending you lots of love, brother. You said when on a manifestation vacation, first time the at Virginia Beach, saw a rocket hitting the firmament while wearing a drip. Oh yeah, man. I appreciate that. I don't know if you sent that over to me on Instagram or anything, but I'll repost that if you share. But anybody that has any pictures of wearing the Waters Above merch, send that over to my support email. If you want to have me repost it, go over to Instagram and share it with me over there, and I'll repost it. One second. Let me type in. Show you guys real quick. So if you go over to x.com, you'll see it's at Waters Above, but it's spelled ABVE. So when you go over to Instagram, it's spelled the same way, ABVE. Everyone else spelled in another way is a scammer. And these guys are creating new accounts every day, pretending to be me. So yeah, just spell it this way over on Instagram, send it, and then I'll repost it. And I appreciate it. It's dope. It's dope seeing Waters Above merch out there in the wild. But I hope you're doing amazing, Darren. I appreciate your super chat, brother. Sending you lots of love. All right. Gabriel, I am doing amazing. Appreciate you. Miss Dell, much love over to Australia. So, how about that? I don't know how much I'm able to talk about this, but you guys know about this this moment yesterday. We could call it a black swan event, right? This Windows outage had a lot of issues. I believe a lot of airlines, top 3 in America, were going through a lot of, a mess. I think the entire Berlin airport in Germany effectively uh, had to stop their operations, which is, anyone who knows German airports, it's like they're having a problem every fucking week. So, anyways, but yeah, this is a very interesting event that happened yesterday, and why is because the company is called CrowdStrike. Okay, like I hope we can see that. Now, One moment. Flip another picture. Apologies. Also, I hope you guys are doing amazing. Sending you lots of love. You guys all know about this. So you see the cheek, blood stains, got crowd strike, two reds, two red stripes. Literally, bullet hits the crowd. I mean, like, what a simulation we live in. I know a lot of people like they expect me to give a lot of prana to this stuff, and I don't. I just can't. Like, I don't have the energy in me to feed this beast. But it is. I'm having fun in this matrix, you know. And then there's this video that's been floating around about this dude who I just talked with Bearable Bull about it recently. So shout out to Bearable Bull. He and I were about to um, go deeper into this video that I'm about to talk about, but I didn't watch it. But he made a YouTube video like right before me and him did the redo of our last podcast because the first one didn't save to his computer. But right before I did the redo with him, I checked out his new video, and there was this one dude that was like talking about how he had a vision. I don't know, it was like 6 months before, had a vision that Donald Trump got shot while speaking and it like hit his ear. And like the way he described it was like one to one the way that it happened, right? Like pretty wild. And Bearable Bull asked me my take on it, and I shared my thoughts on that interview. You guys could check that out over on his channel. I don't want to spend too much time talking about that today, but this guy has now blown up like overnight, super popular. He's like the Jesus version of Hawk Tuah. He's like Hawk Tuah for QAnon. Now you know why the NHL has sponsored my live streams. But anyways, so Jesus Hawk Tuah was talking about the American financial crisis and how like Trump is basically Jesus in the flesh, and how he was praying in the Oval Office, and then the dollar collapses, and then the euro collapses, and then the BRICS nations expand more, and it's like a 30-minute video, right? Like a thirty minutes of this. It's a new video. It came out after the Trump situation went down. So now this guy who's like doing prophecy, um what do you guys call it? Is it remote viewing? Is it like I don't know. And by the way, I'm not discrediting him. That's not my point here. But watching this newer video where he talks about the financial crisis that's coming that he saw in his dream that God showed him. He breaks it down in a pretty great level of detail. There's a lot of symbolism in his dream, which is fascinating in many ways, like a decoder's wet dream. And then he starts going on about the merger, and this is where I my intuition flares up, guys. It's like my intuition goes, all right. He starts talking about how BRICS is going to expand, dollar collapses, euro collapses because of war expansion into Europe, which is like all obvious shit that's already been going on, right? And then he starts talking about the merger of Mexico. Canada and the United States, and then he forgets about the currency that they're going to create. So he talks to the cameraman and he says, "What's it again?" And he says the Amero. All right. This guy literally is like reciting Barack Obama days conspiracy. All right. Like we're talking about like before Trump got in, like the Nasara Jasara stuff. If none of you watch this movie Zeitgeist Addendum, it's really good. Check it out. But like this shit is old news. The idea of Canada, Mexico, and the creation of the Amero. This was also in tandem with this Nasara Jasara thing and debt forgiveness and yeah, psyop on top of a psyop on top of a psyop on top of a psyop. It's like flapjacks at IHOP. All right. But once he started talking about the Amero, I was like, bro, game over. Like, this is unbelievable how we're watching the rise of Hawk Tuah, QAnon version. And it's this like super, super like drooling out the mouth Trump worship. And how like these people really believe that like Jesus is picked Donald Trump to be the savior of our world. And all of this emphasis on America as if America is the only country that exists. This fanaticism, this QAnon stuff, it's like it's really unbelievable how people keep falling for this shit. But to give the guy credit where credit is due, he did have that vision. I don't know if they call it remote viewing or whatever. Like he had that vision where Trump got the assassination attempt and then the bullet went through the ear. And yeah, so that's wild, right? Like when you see something like that occur, you instantly start falling into this, oh wow, so everything else must be this must be the real deal. This is the Lord is speaking to my boy now. You know? Jesus is speaking through me. Jesus with a J. Jesus with a hard J is speaking through me. And he told me that that Zelensky is going to become the first actor president to ever die while competing in a hot dog eating contest in Coney Island, New York. Next to Kobayashi, who's really actually Kobe Bryant, but you guys know that the CIA makes these high-level rubber skin masks that you could put on. So Kobe's death was fake. He didn't die in the helicopter crash. He actually is the world hot dog eating competition greatest of all time. Shout out to Nathan's. And he's just been wearing a CIA level skin mask suit. But he's really Kobayashi. Did you guys know? I learned that from a QAnon forum. I learned that from 4chan, and I believe it. Okay, are you guys entertained or what? Are you guys feeling the spice? Are you feeling the mustard and the sauerkraut? Some people are probably offended. They're like, but Trump is my lord. What are you saying, Waters? He is going to single-handedly save the world. Because America is the world. And it's the only country that matters. And it's the only country that God cares about. Isn't it weird when these people when they get going? It's like they don't know the names of any other world leaders. So they just default to the guy in America. Bruh, it's just so bad. It's real bad. It's real bad. I think I had more fun when everyone was talking about Roaring Kitty. What happened to that guy? What happened to the GameStop guy? Can we get the GameStop guy back? Can the GameStop guy invite me onto a podcast? Can we talk? We could talk about investment thesis. I am absolutely not Canadian. I was born in the good old state of New York in Brooklyn. Oh, all right, bury thy demons. That's what's up. I'll check you out. I'll check you out, bro. Yo, bury thy demons official. How about you go ahead if you can and shoot me an email over at my support email and just send me one of your tracks. I would love to check you guys out. Much love. Anyone out there that's in any bands or you're a music artist or any of that, like you're creating stuff, like feel free to send it my way. I would love to check it out. Like I mean, I'm being serious right now. I know we were having fun a moment ago, but I'm being real serious right now. Like I love being surrounded by creatives. I think it's beautiful. I think the world needs more art right now. We have a lot of artificial intelligence and a lot of people typing in some sentence into chat GPT, like a prompt and being like, look, I made art today. It's like it's pretty rough. So yeah, bury thy demons. Like if I hear there's a real guitar player, real bass, I'm like immediately I'm like, yes, sign me up. It's real art. Finally. XRP plumbing, I appreciate you sending lots of love. I appreciate your super chat. Didn't get any questions or anything else going on, but needless to say, I really appreciate your support. Sun's moon in require in sorry. Regarding, wanted to say like 3 words at one time. My I think my brain just glitched. But yeah, Sun's Moon. I think it's because your name is Sun's Moon, which is already kind of like crossing my wires, but you said quality is everything, and that was in regards to CMOS. And yeah, that's everything. The same thing with Sheilagy, which has become very popular over the past however many years. Liquid magnesium, it's the same thing. Like probably like the only supplement that I ever quote unquote recommend. I'm not advising anyone to take it though. I'm not your doctor. I'm not a healthcare professional. Yeah. The only supplement that I personally would keep in my regimen on a bi-monthly basis, like maybe do it for 2 months, then take a break, then for 2 months, then do it for 2 months, then take a break for 2 months, would be liquid magnesium. And then a lot of things just come down to food quality. But liquid magnesium, if you could get it from a natural source, not just like crushed up rocks that have been diluted into um a liquid solution. Like yeah, anyways, liquid magnesium is dope. Don't really need to get too deep into it right now. Taz Keys, I'm sending you lots of love. I appreciate you. You said started following the Shaolin monks' philosophy. It's beautiful. You know, all philosophy is beautiful. We just need more philosophy right now. We need more of a love for knowledge. And I think right now we are conflating that with a desire to accumulate information. So it's like we've hoarded all this info and intel, but then it has no utility. So therefore, it's not wisdom. Wisdom is information, wisdom is applied knowledge. And philosophy used to be something that we could share together. It wasn't just one man kind of preached from the peak of the mountain and told everyone the way. It was a discussion with the people. It was a back and forth of curiosity. It was beautiful. Now today there's very little philosophy. There's very little Well, I shouldn't speak so that sounds a little doom and gloom. There's philosophy for sure. We're doing it here, we're philosophizing. But what I mean is the mainstream, the what is the popular, what is the thing that's getting the most prana is void of philosophy. That's really what I should say. Nicholas Hunt, in regards to kidney stones, dry fast, and when you with any water you consume, it needs to be distilled water. Okay? Especially when you're having kidney issues like this. So you need to move on to well, you should consider, don't use want to use the word need. You should consider investing in a water distiller. Start consuming distilled waters. Consider practicing a dry fast. With that dry fast, don't go hardcore. Start off slow, do a 24-hour fruit only protocol, then do 24 hours dry water fast on distilled water only, then do 24 hours of dry fast, then after that do 24 hours of water only. This would add up to a 3-day total fast, but only one of them was dry and 48 hours was total water only. And then after that, you would do 24 hours of only fruit or juice, specifically fruit juice. Maybe you could throw some if you want to cut it with more water-based fruits such as cucumber, go for it. Celery's great. Um, don't be too extreme though. Like it doesn't need to be fancy, like 30 different fruits. It could be apple, ginger, some orange. Keep it simple. You want to make this fun, easy, and if you're somebody who's never fasted before, that could already be pretty extreme. But consider that because I would never recommend somebody do a 3-day water fast. You need to learn how to give your kidneys a break. And the one thing to tell you directly, Nick, is that when you're on a water fast, your kidneys are the only thing really doing all the work now, right? You're no longer eating, but you're still drinking water. And that's a burden on the kidneys. So when you do a dry fast, the kidneys finally, for once, get a break. Finally, they get to take a day off. I think we all owe our kidneys a day off once in a while. So consider basic protocol. This is free game. Anyone could practice this, whether you're having kidney issues or not. Like, this is just something to consider. A lot of people aren't actually effectively filtering lymph. So if the lymphatic system isn't optimal, if it isn't filtering effectively, then yeah, you're going to have sewage recycling back into the bloodstream. And that's what's the main cause of disease, or dis-ease is really the better way to pronounce it. But it would just be 24 hours fruit only, 24 hours after that water only, distilled 100%, nothing else. If you want to get fancy and invest a little more, you could do some coconut water. Then do the 24 hours dry fast, then follow that with 24 hours distilled water or coconut water. And then after that, 24 hours fruit or fruit juice, raw fruit, and check back in. Much love, brother. Brad, I'm sending you lots of love. I appreciate you. The freed M culture. Yeah, I mean, I'm not against the hustle, man. Like I'm not against the hustle. But a lot of people in this community were not changing their diet too much because you got to remember psychology of humans. It's that we would rather take a supplement over changing our lifestyle any day. So just kind of chill with me there for a moment and you'll see where I'm going with this. If you were to tell somebody for the first time, like they're not aware of health and wellness at all, okay? I want you to close your eyes and imagine what I'm sharing with you. Imagine you're like a newborn baby when it comes to health and wellness information, all right? But you weren't so healthy, you weren't feeling the best. Perhaps you're sluggish, you're crashing after eating meals, you just have shitty energy levels. Perhaps you're putting on a lot of body fat, all of that, right? Or you're having issues like hair loss, brittle nails, discoloration of the teeth, teeth chipping away, like serious shit, right? Well, that's what a lot of people are going through in this world, and it's all food related. All right. There's of course stress. There's a lot of other things that could lead to this, but a major. If I had to put like a pyramid, it would be majority of the pyramid is food. It's what you are, what you eat. Okay. And most people, what they eat is dehydrating foods that are keeping them chronically inflamed. Dehydration allows inflammation to be very easy in the human organism. Hence, when you hydrate your body, it's harder to have inflammation. I digress. But if you take somebody who knows nothing, shit all about nutrition, and you tell them to their face, hey, I want you to just do a 2-day fast. It's free, gratis, not a single dollar, just 2 days. You don't have to give me a buck. 2 days, that's it. Now, that person will be super open to trying it if you told them the results it's likely to give them. And there are a pattern of results for sure. There is a noticeable pattern. But if I was to tell those people, you know, what would help even more is if you started changing your diet. If you started like maybe stop eating over processed deep fried foods and a bunch of overly processed sugar and fortified cereals and yeasted bread and all of that, the classic stuff that most people eat. They would give you some pushback if you told them that they had to change the diet. Now, if you had another individual brand new to all of this and you told them, hey, take this supplement, take sea moss, especially they've never heard it before. They've never heard of this. They've heard of vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin C, vitamin B12. They've heard of iron. They've heard of zinc. They've heard of it all. They said, yeah, I take that and a multivitamin every day. But you throw out this sea moss thing. Now you've just triggered this novel stimuli in them. And then you kind of just leave it at that, which I believe is a majority of the tactic here because it's to sell sea moss. You want to keep having the sea moss be sold. What a drug dealer does. It's like, I know heroin's bad. And by the way, I'm not equating heroin to sea. I'm just letting you know the mind of a drug dealer. A drug dealer does not want you to be self-reliant. That's what you need to pay attention to right now. The drug dealer wants you to keep coming back. He's the plug. But the self-reliant teacher would say, you can do this for free. You don't need to load up your supplement cabinet with a bunch of hokey dokey bullshit. All of this so-called minerals and stuff that you think you'll be getting from this one quote unquote superfood, it pales in comparison to the dog shit that you're eating every day when when you're eating French fries, cheeseburgers, chicken nuggets, and ice cream. But people like being told, like, hey, take the supplement. You'll be fine. Because it's a win-win. The drug dealer wins, and then the ego and the person that's experiencing sickness has this momentary belief that it's like pharmaceutical warfare. It's more psychological than it even is physical. So, like, that's really why I'm not a proponent of talking about a lot of this stuff because You can do all this shit without consuming anything. It's free. That would be so, so, so much more healing than getting you on a supplement regimen. And then what happens is you now find out this thing works and then you keep funding it. And what really works? Like a lot of the time, this is called placebo effect. If everyone now started taking CMOS, this placebo effect would wear off. We're going through so many of those transformations, like with all of this stuff year by year. We've all been through it now. We find something that we think works so much. A team of scientists start promoting their science and their literature that's usually paid for by some other company that has some product to sell on the other side. And then they market it. And then everyone starts catching on. Then everyone takes it, everyone consumes it, everyone's a part of the cultural moment, the trend, if you will. And then after the trend is over, the placebo effect drizzles away, and then the pharmaceutical company is looking for a new drug to sell you. They're looking for a new supplement to sell you. They're looking for a new the health food stores are part of this scam too. And I think that's probably what a lot of you guys are mostly you're probably also the type of people that are like aware that vitamin C pills are fucking nonsense. Like, of course, there's a high quality version of that, but it's like, just eat fucking oranges, eat grapefruits, eat mangosteen, eat apple, like, eat fucking fruit. It has living water inside of it. You're not paying for dead, crushed up rocks in a pill capsule. I'm sorry if this hurts people's feelings, but it's like I'm saving you a lot of money. The money that you put into this fucking powder that's dead sitting in a capsule in a plastic container in your cupboard, it's a waste of money. We've talked about this a lot when we got into the vitamin D thing. Vitamin D is a really dangerous scam because it doesn't even exist. Vitamin D does not exist. It's a hormone. Just learn how to fast, people. And if you find a high quality Irish sea moss out there, I am not against you or I am not against it. Like, you did your due diligence, you did your research, you had your fun trial and error, you're experimenting. Have fun. That's all that matters. Yeah, the freedom culture, you missed the point. Red Bull vodka, I hope you enjoyed it. It was pretty dope. Always great. Always great reconnecting with Bearable Bull. Lou 1987 says, I'm still working on a blockchain backer and waters above debate. Why would there be a debate? What is there to debate about? Does he not yeah, well, I don't know. I have zero conflict with these YouTubers, with like the people that are doing technical analysis only. I don't really know if that is what I am. So, yeah, I don't think a real man gets into debates. This is just like an ego trip at that point. And I would hope that this individual doesn't care to do something like that either. If he wants to have a discussion about his art, I'll have a discussion about my art and then we can see where it goes. But I wouldn't get into the debates with other technical analysts because crypto is not life. Investments are not life. But I would love to talk with him. We've tried to make it happen. I think Bearable Bull has reached out to him. And just never happened. I don't think he's interested, and that's okay. And Jay Smith, I appreciate you. Darren, is this like you want me to read this? I'm not trying to laugh, bro, because like I don't want to. I'm not trying to troll right now. I don't know if you're trolling me because I know you're like a funny guy. You're a funny guy too. Well, I'm a funny guy. I don't. I think you're trying to get like a voice clip to. So I'm not gonna make. But anyways, shout out to your woman, man. I hope she's all right. I hope she's doing good. I hope she's recovered. You said any recommendation? Are you being real with me right now? Okay, you said you brought food, fruit, coconut water, and distill. Seeing, yeah, baby wipes, and yeah, go easy on the toilet. But yeah, eating more high hydration foods. I do not recommend high protein, low water content foods. So do not consume something like seitan or meat or flesh. Do not consume anything that is super high protein and low water content. That will fuck you up. So yeah, you want to go with I would just do it liquid fast. If I really wanted to push through it fast, like no pun intended, no pun intended, I don't know. Again, today's live stream is sponsored by the NHL and Joe Biden's sleep apnea mask, Nancy Pelosi's portfolio fund manager, um, Nathan's hot dogs, the CIA, World Economic Forum, and Anthony Fauci. So, anyways, getting back to this, go on like a juice fast. That would probably be the recommended thing to do. And if the juice is too extreme, just cut it with lots of cucumber. So I would go heavy on like cucumber, apple, turmeric, ginger. That juice right there is probably fire. If she likes the sweetness of apples, then you don't need to do the cucumber. Some people they can't stand too sweet juice if they're like drinking 1 to 2 liters a day, because that might be the case, how much she needs to consume. It's kind of like you can have as much as you want deal, and just do that for like 3 to 4 days, see how things go, and if she could keep pushing it further, then go for it. No need to apologize. Darren, you said 74 was given to me my national dirt bike number, so it's my favorite. Decode Your Reality did a banger on 74. Do you see that code 74? No. No, not really. But naturally 74, 7 plus 4 is 11. 11's your first master number. And that would be the number of the twin towers, the two poles, polarity, masculine, feminine, positive, positive, negative. So 7 4s, and this is where you can get a little bit deeper. 7 times 4, you have 28. 28, I've seen a lot in my in like in politics stuff regarding political code, which is kind of boring shit to me, so I don't really care about it. But yeah, and then you have the 74th element, tungsten, which is pretty interesting in some ways. I think Decode Your Reality would have so much to say about the 74. But as for me, I'm going to show you my 74s real fast. Okay. So this is probably the most powerful 74 presentation I could give. And it's nothing fancy, but it's actually quite simple. So you have Jesus, and then you have the opposite, which would be And funny enough, remember I was saying the 74 and then I brought up the 11. So again, getting into the master numbers, but 7 plus 4 is your reduction naturally. But then you have Lucifer, 74. Funny enough, also the 28. Isn't that crazy? We were just talking about that. 7 times 4 is 28, but that's also what this equals in Chaldean. So Lucifer, the light bringer, the bringer of light, the concept of enlightenment, it is not something to be demonized. And that's what the Christ is. Christos, the the crown of light, you know? Yeah, this is tough for a lot of people though, because they're too caught up in Abrahamic religions. But Lucifer, Eosphorus, Phosphorus, bringer of light, light bearer. And that's again the bringer of light, the Alpha and Omega, the Lamb of God. These are all the qualities that you have with the Jesus character. Wasn't even the right way to spell it. There's no hard J. Um, Fun stuff. I'm almost positive though that like if you went over to the Decode Your Reality channel, he could probably show you so many. Oh, there's one more. There's one more. I just remembered hexagon. You guys see that? Yeah, so hexagon gives you 74. And this is part of the duality matrix we live in. We have this hexagon. Oh man, I have so many baller presentations coming up with this Trinity Masterclass in my decoding mastermind course, but I have a whole section on the hexagon too in my crypto decoding blueprint, which is part of the decoding mastermind course over on my website. And it's because the hexagon symbolism is seen quite often in a lot of cryptocurrencies, but it's also seen often in a lot of logos in general. A lot of financial companies. Chase Bank is probably my favorite example of this, of like these Saturnian logos where you can see the hexagon hidden within the symbolism, but it's not so in your face. But, anyways, you guys know one of the most common uh, places we see the hexagon is on the flag of Israel. Or I guess you would want to call it a hexagram, or a sexagram is also what it would be called. So this is like water over fire, triangle pointed up, triangle pointed down, overlapping each other. So water over fire with the symbolism of Israel, Isis Ra El, or life, spiritual, and the merger of those, which is time, right? Because you need to be spiritual, you're etheric, and then you come into the matrix, and then you're delivered from your mother's womb. And then now you're physical and you're here to experience something called time. And that's all the hexagon fractaling out. Really fascinating stuff, this shape. But a hexagon also gives you the 74. So that's also powerful, I think, for the 74 code. It's very a matrix number. It's a number of the matrix. You have Jesus giving you 74. You have Lucifer giving you 74. You have hexagon giving you 74, all in the same cipher. Also, I'm surprised I remembered that because it's been a while since I've thought about that specific number. It's such a random, it's such a random number. Jack Black says this blackout was a big, was sorry. Let me read this. I'm looking at two places at once right now. Jack Black. I wonder if you're the real. Are you the real Jack Black, the guy from School of Rock? By the way, I think I just found out that you guys know Charlie Ward. That like Nasara Jasara QAnon dude. I'm pretty sure he's like a huge fan of Waters Above. He's like, I'm pretty sure this dude really is about what I'm doing. And I don't know if it's because of the XRP content or if this is a recent thing, but I found out that like a lot of those people are like low key, they love this channel. And it's fucked up because it's like I'm calling that QAnon stuff out all the time. Like I've been doing it since the beginning. And I wonder how they take that. Like, are they offended or are they really about that truth? Because if they're really about that truth and they're not offended by that and they're just down with the gematria, numerology, astrology applications to the markets and like the esoteric take on the markets, then I'm like, that's kind of cool. you know? That's what's up. Because then you're not getting triggered or associating with the group, and you're looking at it for like this is an opportunity for knowledge. And the only reason I would talk against the group is because I think group think is toxic. Like I think group think in a lot of ways is what's parasiting our species. It's what's preventing us from having our own access to our unique code. And I believe we all have a unique code that sings through us. And the only way to hear that music is if you stop listening to everyone else's version of what they believe the truth is. But Jack Black, regarding what you wrote, I think that there's something here. I think that everything is a light test leading up to a bigger, grandiose test. And even in many ways, C19 was a test, and that was pretty fucked up because that was like a reality for 2 years. Although it was just a carbon copy, effectively, of Spanish flu back in 1918, but it was still 2 years and 2 months, the same as C19. Um, Pretty nuts. And now we're moving into 2024. Sorry, we're moving into 2025. I was thinking about a couple things at the same time, but I've been telling you guys to really pay attention to 2025 with the year of the snake, because the year of the snake is a pattern for the United States going to war. So war escalation is going to continue from now until 2032 or 33. I think we're going to have the war thing escalate for about 9 more years, in a very serious fashion. Uh, and I feel like I don't, I'm on the fence here, guys. I know you appreciate me sharing my outlook on the world stage beyond just the crypto markets. I know that's one thing we can do here that maybe a lot of the other crypto channels can't get into. Like, and that was what I was going to say before about the whole blockchain backer debate thing. It's like, we're not just talking about crypto here. Like, we're talking about life. We're talking about everything. Like, you name a topic, we have the wherewithal to be curious about it. If we don't know, at least we can really go deep into the idea and really push the limits on a lot of concepts, not just about crypto, not just about basic financial markets, like things that are pretty esoteric. So, anyways, I have like a heavy heart because I want to talk more about what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, but I don't want it to sound like fear porn. I have zero, zero prana in me that fears what's coming. I am not worried at all. I feel protected. I know that everyone is protected, and I have this really intuitive sense that the code tells you where you gotta be and when you gotta be there, and you just have to fucking listen to it. And the thing that's keeping you away from listening to it is getting so caught up in what's going on in the mainstream and especially on social media. Like, when you go on social media, you will hear about devastation every time you reload your laptop. You just press the refresh button and you will hear about some crazy shit going on somewhere. It's just replaced the news. Remember when you used to come home and they were playing the news on the television and you're like, today 6 children died in a bus accident because a guy slammed his 4x4 truck into the side and T-boned it while smoking meth. Like, it was like every day you heard some shit like that. Like, guy robs a store butt naked with a ski mask on and a bandana around his neck. Like, why is that detail important? I don't know. But this is what you heard. It was every day. You heard some crazy, and like social media is the same. You go into social media and it's just feeding you fucking devastation, loss. bad shit all the time. Like what just happened today? Yemen airstrike. Now ISIS wants to like come back in the picture, even though we know that's all bull. Like it's all just more and more drama. And yes, I understand that real people out there are getting affected by this. We're not like heartless, black souled, like we have compassion here, man. But it's like we need to be aware that you can't give it this energy as if it's controlling you. You can't be consumed by it. You never should be consumed by it. You need to do what's right for you and your people. And you need to stop getting sucked into the vortex of whatever the fuck's going on in the world stage in a place that has really nothing to do with you. Like there's some guy right now in, Nebraska looking at X.com and he's like losing his mind about what just happened in Yemen. He's like, I need to post about it too. I need to share. I need to repost. I need to share it. I'm going to go over to Facebook now and let all my friends in Omaha know about the airstrike, because they got to know. Everyone needs. It's like we're doing the dirty work for them. Duh. It's like there's already oh man, I gotta behave. I want to keep this all going as long as we can. I can't say anything that'll get the overlords angry. But we used to say it in a lot less words back in the day, and it was just protect your prana, protect your life force essence. I've been preaching that shit for fucking years now. It's now more than ever. You need to protect your energy because it's going to get easier and easier for you to leak that energy into stuff that has 0% to do with you, that doesn't affect your life at all. And trust me, we've been pumped in our soft skulls for decades, for a century, with news articles, headlines about the apocalypse in several forms. And it just decade passes by, a new decade passes by, and really all that happens is like, what does David Icke say? The totalitarian tiptoe. The quality of life actually got much, much better. You're just more surveillanced. You have less like there's a lot more tracking and tracing. The money supply is going digital, no cash. Like everything is just tracked now. But the quality of life is insane. 50, 60 years ago when you wanted food, you had to like go outside into the fucking garden and like pick something out of the ground and wash it off. And I mean, not everywhere in the world. Like I'm talking about the world. Obviously, if you live in the first world, you had some grocery stores and you could, but I'm like talking for the world. But now in places that were like, are really not that advanced, that economically savvy, you could like order on a food app and get hot food to your doorstep. Like in the same country that's in massive debt and has an energy crisis and there's like potential war at any moment, but you could still order Uber Eats. Maybe not Uber Eats, but their version of it. It's fucking nuts. It's absolutely crazy that like we have these technological luxuries right now, and it makes life a lot more simple, a lot more convenient, a lot easier, and it's increased the quality of life immensely. We have no room anymore to experience the slightest discomfort. Like, have you noticed when you first got Uber Eats, or any of these food apps, you were just like, holy shit, I could order food to my house? Like it was like magic. Now people are frustrated if they can't eat food on an airplane. That Louis C.K. joke I love where he's like talking about people complaining about there being bad, like not food on the flight. He's like, we're in the fucking sky right now. Like you're on a plane. How much more perfect does this need to be for you? You have Wi-Fi on the plane. You fucking you can watch TikTok on the plane. Pretty fucking nuts. So the quality of life got crazy, but during that whole thing, they were telling you that there was gonna be like a what did they say? By the 80s, we should be in an ice age. Then they said by the year 2000, we were gonna have like the end of the world because of Y2K, and then the Mayan calendar was supposed to end, and then the day after tomorrow was gonna come to life because volcanoes were all gonna erupt all over the world, and then the electrical grid was gonna go down, and the president was going to get replaced by some alien species from planet Nibiru, the Anunnaki, or they're going to come and show us that they've really been running the show this whole time. And it's exhausting, isn't it? Isn't it fucking exhausting? Psyop after psyop after psyop, and we still haven't woken up. Truth Slay says China is working on a gold backed currency. Are they, though? Or is that what the news tells you? Like, people need to know that everything that happens in China is make believe news. It's all just like they don't tell the world what they're doing. But anyways, now that fun is out of the way. Also, Truth Slay, this is I'm glad you brought this up. This isn't I'm not again nothing. Don't take it personally. We're having fun here. But you bring up the China working on gold back currency. Why is that a good idea? Like, what is going on in this world where all the people that have just learned about finance within maybe the past couple of years are under this assumption that gold is like the solution to the problem? Why does the money need to be backed by something? And is gold not also backed by belief? I hear this all the time and it makes my eyes like roll in the back of my skull like a figure eight pattern. When people say that gold is God's money, holy shit. Is that the most egoic and awful thing to say? Gold is God's money. Really? So God believes gold matters? Is God like a pimp? Does God like have grills and like walk around with like a cane and have like a green suede fedora? Like Cat Williams? Does God wear like a pink fur coat like Cameron? Like, who the fuck thinks gold has value? Like, why does it have to be that gold has value? What? Why? Why? I'll tell you why. Because we were told it does. You believe it. Just like they told you diamonds have value. Just like they tell you that water, it's like everything is what we believe. But why would backing your your toilet paper with gold solve the problem? This is what I want to hear some like financial philosopher explain to me. Now, I know I'm going really against the grain right now. I think a lot of people like gold. I personally have a 10% gold position in my entire portfolio. So I am not speaking this because I'm anti gold. I think it's a solid investment, but that's it. I don't think it's a fucking solution, though, to the financial cesspool that's operating in real time. It's all belief. It's just a different form of belief. Gold is just a heavy form of belief. It's a very tangible, heavy, shiny form of belief. Okay, Apocalypse scenario. We have two people. One person shows up with a backpack full of gold coins. The other person shows up with a backpack full of canned food. Who really matters here? Better yet, we have a guy full of a backpack full of gold, and then we have another guy who's like an outdoorsman who knows how to build houses and fucking start fires by staring at wood. And he could like, he has like a Chuck Norris chin that he could like cut down a tree with his chin. We're gonna pick Chuck Norris chin guy. We're gonna pick the guy that knows how to fucking start a fire by laserizing, you know, the cherry tree. Like Bear Grylls or whatever his name is. Like, we want that guy. We want the guy that knows how to like climb a tree with one arm. The guy that knows how to build a house out of hair. We want the guy that has skills, or the woman. We want the woman who has skills too, of course. We want the human who has skills. Fuck the backpack full of gold guy. That guy is irrelevant. And some people are like, but you need gold to make the wires and all the components inside of the electric. Yeah, but really though? I know this is coming off as ignorant in some way, and I could sense the bubbling up inside of the gut of anger that some people might have at this. And I just told you moments ago, I have a gold position. I own physical gold. But I'm not gonna like fucking disregard the fact that it's all just belief. Gold's value is in dollars. And all of the value of that is based in belief, which is only as strong as the military that could keep the scam going. This is the realest shit you've probably ever heard about gold. So I wonder, because I hear a lot of this stuff coming up now with the expansion of BRICS and things that are going on with the financial system, and how there's a lot of push towards going back to like the old way. People like talk about the gold standard and all of this. It's like, trust me, guys, I know about Gold Act. I know about 1933, what was going on with FDR. I get it. I get it. I know all this. But like, we're going quantum. Like, we're going in the digital direction. We're going to fairy dust 3.0. It's just the way it is. I don't really think China is going to put themselves into a position where they need to be any different than the momentum that they have pretty much pioneered with their social score and Alipay and all the other crazy shit, the Black Mirror stuff they're doing. Like, all China will do is what everyone else will do, which is continue to make a belief-based currency. It's like a meme coin. It's all memes. They're just going to make another belief-based thing and then use military and laws and politics and the gullible NPC-like behavior of the masses to push the value behind whatever it is that they force us to use. When they're talking about the mark of the beast being some like chip implanted in your hand or being like some forehead that like, it's already the mark. The fiat currency is the mark of the beast. They forced you. Right now, everyone, I hope, like, if you're in America, let's just say America. I'd say Australia. I bet it's the same. Maybe I believe it's also the same for most of Europe. All right. Maybe there's places where it's not like this. I just don't know because, believe it or not, there's people in Africa that are listening to this channel. There's people in, parts of real deep Eastern Europe into Asia that are listening to this channel. So to speak to everyone right now, I want you to go to your grocery store later. When you're done with this podcast, go to your grocery store. Go buy a bag of seeded black grapes. If they're not available, get a watermelon. Then I want you to wait. First, you need gold. All right. You got your gold ounce coin. What does that cost? $2,400 right now. I want you to go with your gold ounce coin. Fits in the palm of your hand. It's cute. I want you to go there and then bring your watermelon up to the register, and then when they ask you to pay for it, and they're like, "It's $7 and eight," just hand them the gold coin and be like, "Here you go." And I wanna see what they do with that. And what do they do? They hand it they say, "What the fuck is this? Can't do anything with this." They don't even know how much that costs. They have no idea. They see 1 ounce. They probably think it might cost $1. That's what 99% of humanity would think. They would think, "Oh, that's $1." No, it's like, "No, I need you to break that down into other gold coin increments to where I'm now given back enough in ounces, but also at the value that you initially charged me for at $7.80 USD. So you need to give me now back, wait 1 second, I need to look at the spot price of gold. Let me do some quick calculations, okay? You have to give me back 2,400, 2,300 and $96 but wait, I need ounces, so wait, I'm not sure, maybe 0.99. It's fucking crazy. This thing has no utility as a currency, as money. It's just something shiny that we like to look at, that we could keep around, and someday maybe we'll sell it for more toilet paper. You bought gold 10 years ago at $2,000. Now you can sell it for $2,400 of toilet paper. Yay. Why are we backing our currency? Like, what is that really? I just don't see it. I see us going more digital. Everything will be digital. Gold was always belief. Everything is belief. I know this sounds very defeatist, but really what it is actually quite a spiritual concept we're exploring right now, because I'm trying to remind people that none of this shit has value. It's just the ego that gives it value. The ego says that gold is valuable, that copper is valuable. It's our sickness. Our sickness is that what we know a lot about, we give it the most value. So if you go to somebody who's like the best pool player on earth, like a billiards player, and they told you how much their pool stick costs, they would probably tell you, like, I don't know, like something like 800 or like maybe even $8,000. And you'd be like, what the fuck? $8,000? That's crazy. It's just a little piece of wood. Like, you don't know anything about the craftsmanship or like any of that. But when you talk to other pool players, they're like, oh, that's actually nothing. If you talk to people about cars, if you talk to people about watches, if you talk to people about any skill, craft, hobby, whatever, the more you learn about it, the more belief cements around it. And then you're now part of that little club in the know. It's the same thing with crypto. It's the same thing with precious metals holders. It's the same thing with all of this other money shit. Go to your grocery store and ask them, "Hey, do you know anything about Solana?" They'd be like, "Is that a new restaurant that opened up?" They don't know. Nobody knows. You walk up to someone and be like, "Hey, do you know how much the gold price is right now per ounce?" Nobody, bro, nobody fucking knows. This is only a couple of nerds like you and me that give any energy to this stuff. But don't confuse that with value. Like, you know what actually has value? People, relationships. You could have all the fucking money in the world, but if your best friend dies, let's see how much that money helps. Or if something happened to somebody that really, really mattered to you, your partner, your mother, father, friend, whatever. Now, let's say you had all the money in the world and you got really sick with a terminal illness. And what are you going to do with that money? All you're going to do is start to think about the people in your life. And I think that's really like maybe the place my mind goes a lot of the time when we talk about value. and when we explore what that even means. And I think right now we're getting so material and so money focused that like we're dislocating from the true value in this life. So to come back to this all and speak on a couple of things that I believe have an immense amount of value. I've learned over time that have a lot of value, and hence whenever there's a bear market or there's a problem going on in finances, or there's a big market correction, I don't get flustered. I'm not nervous. I don't get like emotional about it. I'm not mad or upset. I'm not mad that XRP is not $589 yet. I don't. It doesn't bother me because I made a proper investment thesis. I know how to create a wealth plan. I know my numbers, right? But the bigger point is that I know that those things aren't even the most valuable things. It's my skills that are way more valuable than all of that. You could take a man's money away, you can't take away his skills. So China will have a gold-backed currency and then a 1.3 billion slave people. Great. Really solve the problem there. Everyone's on a social score, but their yen is backed by gold. It's like, what does it fucking matter then? Landon, I'm glad that I made you laugh a little bit. I thought the Jesus Hawk tour was one of my finer moments. What else did I had another funny. I forgot what I said. I had a funny, guys. QAnon Hawk Tua. Dustin said my sweat feels like kimchi, baby. I'm gonna start telling people that, like I sweat kimchi, kimchi juice. Oh, that sounds so bad. Paula Rose said Donut did his first U group YouTube for all you decoders. This was fascinating. I didn't know about that. I haven't spoke to Donut in some time. In probably at least 3 or 4 months. I hope he's doing well. Gary Schofield, appreciate you, brother. Hope you're doing well. I really would love to do something with comedy in a more serious way. But then I just recently watched this. Yo, everyone needs to watch this. So I haven't listened to the full thing. I got to 1 hour and I only actually physically watched maybe like 10 minutes of it, but I kept it playing in the background while I was doing something else. This shit had me dying. Wow, this was funny. It's one comedian pretending to be Joe Biden, and then the other and Shane Gillis is pretending to be Donald Trump. It is so good. It's so good. It's so good. But wait, what were we talking about? We were talking about yeah, the comedy, and then in this Kill Tony, people who've like never done stand up before, some of them have. They come on this and they do an open mic, they do like a minute, I think, just like a minute skit, a minute bit, I should call it. And like, it's fucking hard, man. Do you guys understand how many YouTubers you watch? And I'm not trying to like sound like I'm a cool guy, by the way, with what I'm saying. I'm just being real with you. You know how many YouTubers you watch that edit the fuck out of their videos? They are reading a script, and then on top of that, they're editing out because they don't have the cadence in their reading abilities and in their speaking. And that's not a problem. I'm not judging that. I'm just letting you know that that is why a lot of those YouTubers never do live streams. And I've actually tried telling some of those people who have problems with that because they've come to me for guidance and advice. I'm like, bro, how are you able to do 3 hour, 4 hour lives? Just keep going and don't stop. It's because I fucking practice it. Like when you guys are coming to this live stream, there's no script. I'm literally reading your questions and we're just going off the top. Okay. None of this could possibly be planned. And we're doing it every single week. Like I'm just a real one. Like I know what it is that I'm talking about. And if I don't know for a moment about something, I say I'm not sure. I have no idea. And getting back to this, like comedy is really about energy, right? Like you need to have that confidence, you need to have that energy. And I was watching this and I haven't watched too much of Kill Tony, but these guys are super brave going up there in front of a bunch of random people and trying to make them laugh. Like, it's tough to make people laugh, man. Like, it's real tough, but if you have that charisma and you have that energy about you and that playfulness, it's like you could really do and I would love to start heading more in that direction because I love turning these really serious, like, deep conspiratorial truther, concepts on its head and just having fun, right? It's so much fucking better to just laugh about it because it's cosmic comedy anyways, guys. Like, this whole Joe Biden Trump thing it's like a wrestling match. It's like the Royal Rumble, man. Just have fun. This isn't real. This is the real Trump and this is the real Biden, pretty much. He plays this character so good. It's better. It's funnier. It's so locked in. And shout out to anyone out there who does stand-up comedy. I know that there's a couple of people out there in LA that are doing pretty well with comedy who actually follow along with what I'm doing over here with Waters Above, and that really means a lot to me. Comedy is it's tough. Shout out to the people that decided to go down that career path. I know it's tough to break through. Um, I would love to get more involved in it because I think it's every time that I'm just having fun and I'm just talking shit, it's the best time. And I know that it's at the end of the day, it's worth laughing about most stuff, anyways, instead of taking it so seriously and letting it divide us. Because I think that's what happens quite often, unfortunately, in the truther community. So much division. Division over the shape of the earth, division over what the best diet is, division over the political direction things are headed, division over the opinion on how this war is going to unfold, the division over which asset is better. It's so wild to me when I see people that are like heavy in the truther game, and sometimes have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. They don't show you a single chart, like a technical analysis breakdown, but they have the audacity to be telling, like, shilling a project. That shit is wild to me. Like, absolutely wild. Telling people, like, invest in this now. And that's where a lot of it, that's why, like, if you pay attention to the QAnon thing, it dug its talons into the XRP army. And the XRP army has, like, kind of caught on to that too. And there's a lot of that circulating now. It's very odd. It's very odd. No offense to the XRP army people or the XRP community. You guys know that I've been making a lot of really unique and dialed in art for you guys. Like, I've been putting a lot of time into deciphering how that's all going to go. But I've been a real one the whole time. I'm not selling anyone on a pipe dream with this stuff. Like, I've been very, very conservative in a lot of not only my targets, but a lot of my ideas for how this is all going to unfold on the world stage, not just for XRP, but the whole quantum system. So, anyways, have more fun. That's laugh more. Laugh more. It's the moral, the whole point of that. Hail Metallica said, have a guy at work who thinks he can summon demons using a Ouija board and use dark magic to lucid dream and speak to people in different realms. And then you put a question mark at the end. Hail Metallica, it sounds like you and that guy need to do some mushrooms together. But if I were you, just make sure that he, doesn't try cuddling you in a dark room. So keep your distance if shit gets a little weird. but it sounds like you made yourself a best friend. Like, where the fuck does that conversation come up at work? What do you do? What do you do for like, it's like, hey man, I was I was no, I can't do that accent. He's like, I was changing the tire on my Chevy, and then I found the Ouija board. I think I could summon demons. It's fucked up, bro. It's fucked up. Warrior Bones asks, "What's a good news source website you recommend to stay connected with the world?" I really just, I have to be completely honest with you. All of my updates from my community. So the community that I have shares whatever groundbreaking, crazy shit that's happening, and usually they ask me to decode it. I most of the time can't, but I'll always share my thoughts if I have a moment. Always. So, you could just imagine the volume I receive, like with the recent Trump assassination attempt. It was insane how many people wanted to know, like immediately, like Waters, what do you think? But I get a lot of my updates from them. Like this event that happened, this cyber attack, I guess you could call it, that happened yesterday. I heard about that from my community. Pretty much everything I'm hearing from them because I am like Patrick Starr living under a rock. I try to tune out of as much as possible. Um, I only really look at like charts, like TA stuff when I'm getting ready to actually make art. Like if I'm about to make a YouTube video, if I'm about to make a podcast, if I have a client that, needs some help in reading an asset that he found, like just getting more data on an asset that they found, I'll use it when I need to, but I'm not chart staring all day. Or if I need to make posts, updates, stuff that actually like I find that's interesting. But I don't really know much about what's going on until after my community updates me, and I try to avoid at all costs things like X.com and like I don't have Facebook. I don't do any social media for myself personally. Only through Waters Above do I have social media. So Instagram is crazy the way that works. I don't know how the hell people are using that for news and updates because yeah, it's just so shitty like the way these social media platforms work. And let me explain it. Like you'll see a thumbnail. The thumbnail will be like an O face from like some random influencer, and then you click and it'll like say something about how to make generational wealth with these 5 new finance hacks, and then you click it and then you swipe over and it's like a video that's been super edited, like high contrast and like really like weird ultra edited. Oh, like I can't even explain it, and it's like a clip from who the fuck even knows, like just somebody who, like, in the background, there's a Bugatti, and then there's, like, a woman with a bikini on in a yacht, and he's like, "If you just copy my, if you just do a cold plunge in the morning and 5 hours of meditation and wake up at 5 a.m. and read and journal, and then you'll be able to be on a yacht with a woman in a bikini too." And I'm like, what did this where? What? How? What the fuck is going on? It's like confusing. So I'm probably not the guy to ask where to get news. I wait till and it's hard for me to even recommend these so-called truther YouTube alternatives. Like I have not found one that I believe is a true alternative. I feel like everything on Rumble, and I've just noticed this, like everything on Rumble is so pro Trump. And it's like, wait, so this is just an American politics leaning uh type YouTube alternative. but then they're promoting themselves as like free speech and like, but yeah, it's like everything that's in that camp of like leaning in that direction of that agenda, it's what they promote and it's what they allow to rise to the top and it's what they sponsor and it's what they, like it's all, it's not free speech. It's biased, very, very biased, and there's great content creators over there. I myself have decided to make a channel over there due to requests. But yeah, I see through a lot of that stuff. So it's hard for me to recommend if there's like one place that's better than the next. I think they're all equally kind of as good as the content creators that you find, or what I would like to call the artists. Just find good, like find people you resonate with, man. Like find people that you resonate with. Stay away from really sensationalized, dramatic bullshit, and you'll find great people for sure. Landon Evans asks, "How come you don't have a Brooklyn accent?" Yeah, well, it's because I lived in Brooklyn till it was about, yeah, for like the one third, one quarter of my life, and then another quarter in New Jersey, and then another quarter in Portland, Oregon, and then I started traveling a lot all over Europe. Lived in Australia for a year, and I completely lost it very, very early on. My mom and my grandma, geez, do they still have it? I love I love talking to them. But another thing that I learned about having an accent is over time, I've learned you need to speak calmly. You need to speak from your diaphragm. You need to have care and attention and intent with when you speak. And the energy flows through you in a different way. But of course, traveling a lot undoes a lot of the accent stuff. Hail Metallica, you said also having a fresh green juice today and wanted to show you support. I appreciate you, brother. Hope you're doing amazing. You say you're very unique and beautiful soul. Thank you for keeping it spicy and juicy. Love you and Logan's work. That means a lot to me, bro. I hope you're doing amazing. Wishing you a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Young Woo says, "Do you write lyrics? Your live streams are poetic. Much love, brother." I used to write a lot. I haven't lately. I haven't over the past couple years. Um, but I used to write a lot. I should start again. I just have so much fucking things going on in my mind and so many thoughts. And what I've been doing lately is instead of writing it down, I just create stuff. So I try to get it into just course material, fast and music too, but no writing. No, I wouldn't call it poetry, but no writing. But I love to write. Um, just hasn't been as often as I used to. Hasn't It's been some time. Inch recordings. I appreciate your super chat. You said, "Do you think AI will be able to accurately translate the original Greek version of the Bible?" Um, all AI does is it's using user submissions. So it's using people's data and it's pooling it together. Like I'm really overly simplifying this. Um, but why would we be looking to do that? Like I feel like there's so many other older, like isn't that already done and it's not accurate? You don't believe? I'm asking curiously. See the real issue I think and like kind of where I could perhaps add my uh, words of wisdom to this question is that the Bible is not written for the simpleton. It's not written for the uninitiated. Like the these holy texts are written in parable. They're very, very deep, very esoteric, and very coded in their language. So everything is symbolic, not literal. Okay. You don't really need these extra translated versions of any of like it's all symbolic and it's all following a similar pattern. And the pattern is that as above, so below, as within, so without. Everything that is above is within you. The human body, the human anatomy is a reflection of all that's above. You literally are the stars. You are the constellations. You are the quote unquote planets, or what I would call luminaries. You are literally God body. You are light, soul, divine, forever. You were never born or died. You always are. You're just here momentarily in this avatar, in this rental vehicle. We call it whatever your identity is. So, with that being said, with that being laid out, the Bible or the Torah or the Quran or any of these holy books, when you really get into like Kabbalah, I think this stuff becomes a lot more obvious. But with that being said, you don't even need to go so deep. Just realize that everything that they're saying in this Bible is describing the creation of man, the mind of man, and that is it. All of the story of Genesis is just Greek mythology. Greek mythology before it was that was another thing. And it just was transformed and transformed and transformed. But all it's saying is that a man and a woman come together, and that's the generative principle. When they have sex, they create a child. That is all. So in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. It's Elohim. So God's created the heaven and the earth. So heaven is Uranus or Silas. This is spiritual. Then that would be your masculine. Then you have the earth, which is Terra, Tellus, Gaia. Mother Earth is physical. Matrix, mother, womb. Womb man. Matrix in French is matrice. Womb. So the spiritual seed is planted within this woman's body, Mother Earth. And then now it goes through this process of transmutation, of taking etheric spiritual light and converting it into heavier, denser, physical avatar body. That would be the Immaculate Conception. That is the Christ, or it's the one. You are the one. Then this goes on and on and on. It just fractals out. And it was going on before you. This is your ancestry. You're made of the salt of them, the minerals of them. But the spiritual you, which it's even kind of stupid to say souls, because there isn't souls, there's soul. But again, it's better with visuals and better to have something to like show you to break this down more. But that soul is forever. And that is why it would be called God. It's just energy, frequency, and vibration, and it's gotten slower and turned into this slower moving light that we call a body, which is the body of Christ. It's the flesh. And now you're just a walking, organized water sack with a name and a gender and all the things that the Piscean age cares about a lot. And as we transcend into the Aquarian age, identity will get blurry. All this transhumanist shit that's unfolding will become accepted, whether you like it or not. And that was also spoken about in the quote unquote Bible. the concept of moving into this newer timeline where we will become more technologically advanced, and you will slowly see the rapid decay of this experience called reality, and then it will combust and then reemerge as a new thing, and that's the phoenix rising from the ashes. We've been through this many times before. But think of it like everything has a life cycle here in this matrix, just like your body has a life cycle. Mother Earth has a life cycle. So that goes through a moment where it can't handle anymore the imbalance, and then it needs to wash it all away. Guess what? The spirit realm also has something like this too. Haven't you realized when you take psychedelics and you go on the psychedelic trip, it's so overwhelming because it feels like you're like accessing an extra 30% of your brain, and then you turn into like Lucy, like you turn into Scarlett Johansson, and like you're like, oh my God, you're thinking about 14 different things at once, but like three different ways, whatever the math is there. And it's too much computing power, but like you only have one body and two arms and two legs and five fingers on each hand, and they're like, I don't even know what to do with all this access to the brain. Well, that's what AI is for, guys. AI is to just do that for you, because you can't possibly compute 14 different things three different ways. So in comes AI. Quiet Time Music says, I don't have a question. Just wanted to tell you that I appreciate this community. I've learned a lot about myself, and I'm grateful for everyone here. I appreciate you. Sending you lots of love. Appreciate the support. All right, family, I have to move on soon. It's been 2 hours. Got a couple more minutes to hang out with y'all. Lion Zen, you asked what type of metals are good to wear on body. Copper is good? Question mark. I appreciate your support. It's like, just don't look at everything as good and bad. I think that's a really good starting point. It's not that something is good, it's that everything has its purpose. So it's healthier this way. Copper has its purpose, gold has its purpose, silver has its purpose, tantalum has its purpose, titanium has its purpose, steel has its purpose. It's that they all serve a purpose, and it's this like weird new agey ego shit that's made it like where these specific metals and like stories that we get of the past are tied into marketing to sell copper wire wraps, or to sell a gemstone wrapped in copper that's turned into a bracelet. And it's like, there's nothing like, why does it have to come with the, oh my God, the best thing ever is I saw this video, and I'm not trying to shit on Billy Carson, but it was like this whole video dedicated to Billy Carson's promotional methods for some of the products that he has. And like on his website, he's selling like liquid gold and alchemical liquid silver, and oh, mamma mia, you know? And then you look at the price tag on that stuff, and you're like, what is this snake oil? Everything has life force. All right. Everything has different levels of vibrational frequency, but it's also about like, where are you at with it in your journey? How consciously aware are you to it all? So when we're getting to these types of questions where it's like, is this good or bad? We're already in duality consciousness. So there's a level to transcend a little bit deeper. And it's not a game. It's not me trying to say that you have work to do. It's not me saying that you don't know the right way. I'm not trying to do any of that. We're working together through this. I'm just the reminder to say it's not good or bad. Coppers serves a purpose. It serves its purpose if you allow it. I'm not anti it, but I'm not pro it. You got to do what's for you. Are you drawn to these things? Or are you just being sucked into the marketing of something? That's the thing. It's like when it comes to gold, silver, platinum, all these things, it's like they're shiny, they're cute, they're interesting, they can be turned into memorabilia, things that have a lot of meaning to you. Like you could have an engraved bracelet that was given to you by your great grandfather, or like all of that's cool, man. Like I would never take that away from anyone. But when we start hearing this like spiritual marketing, it's where it gets off the rails. And I see that a lot with copper, with gold, with oh my god, remember monoatomic gold, what they were calling mana, even though that's not actually what mana is, but they were talking about monoatomic gold for like a hot minute. I remember that vividly. It was like you're on like a flat earth video and then it switches over to like another video about eating monoatomic gold shavings that were sold and oh my god, dude. You know what's so funny? Like that Salt Bay guy who would do the salt rolling down his forearm, that like walking meme. And he sells a huge steak, like a crazy hunk of flesh, like just covered in gold foil, like gold paper. What a ridiculous thing to purchase. Like what a ridiculous thing to sell. We are in the apocalypse. Like, there's nothing that looks more like the apocalypse than having Salt Bay walking meme giving you a huge piece of an animal that was tortured and murdered, and then the cooked flesh was wrapped in gold paper so that you can have an Instagram video. Yikes. All metal, all things are not good and bad. It's just they serve the purpose. En enjoy your abundance, but don't get sucked into one thing being better or one thing being and be very careful because some people, they find out about copper and they start buying copper everything, copper cups, copper pitchers, they start putting all their water in copper, vessels, and the body isn't used to that, okay? So you have to be careful. Go slow. There's nothing wrong with having a copper pitcher to put your water in once in a while, but go slow with this stuff. Don't be so extreme. Don't think because you heard it's good and there's copper deficiencies running rampant in our population that this thing is like something to just go full on, you know? You got to take it one day at a time. Yeah, JC, when the apocalypse comes, you better be wearing a Gucci tracksuit. Periton says, "Why are you hating on 10% of your portfolio?" Oh, about gold. It's not about that. It's not. It's that there needs to be a sauna session where you sweat away all your toxins and it's uncomfortable as shit. And the stones are getting hot and we're throwing a ton of water on it and you're sweating profusely and you're like finally realizing that it doesn't have anything to do with what you hold. It moreover has to do with the relationship with what you hold. That's the wisdom. We need to disconnect from the value economy that we've been brainwashed into. And then we'll have a much safer relationship with all the tangible objects we're surrounded with. It's that we give too much power to things. And there's a conversation here where we can perhaps navigate those waters that are slightly uncomfortable at first, but as we navigate them more, we start to become empowered for once. Now the gold blocks that you own are no longer powerful. They're just gold blocks that you turned toilet paper fiat into and you left it at that. My thing is, I find it to be so toxic when everyone feels better about themselves because they found out about something on the internet. And then they start, like, it's like this epiphany where, oh my God, I'm going to go, sell everything I own for gold coins now. And then they're sitting there with like this safe full of what? When they're like working a 9 to 5 job. You could have taken all that money and invested in a business and done something so much more powerful, something that's scalable, something that gives you cash flow, something that actually sets you free. But then you have version 2 of life where you're sitting in you have a safe full of 30 uh, canisters of silver coins, and then you have to think about that nervously if there was ever anything to happen in your neighborhood. There's any ever thing to happen at all. I know some people might think this sounds crazy, but I've had phone calls with people where like they've gotten robbed because someone knew about all the precious metals that they had or all the crypto that they owned on hardware wallets. And like this world is fucking dog eat dog sometimes. So, what happens is if you do have an unhealthy relationship with all those things I just said, then if that stuff goes missing, or if it gets taken from you, or if it drops significantly in value, you personally have to feel the pain. You take on the emotions of it all. My way of looking at reality is, oh yeah, I have a 10% gold position and I have an investment thesis that's very sophisticated that allows me to see it for what it is. And if this thing got wiped out, went to zero, got robbed from me, or whatever the fuck happens, if the earth gets taken over by a dinosaur invasion, I am not going to be emotional to it because I'm not emotionally connected with a shiny rock. I decide to save my emotions and my feelings for the people in my life and the skills that I have. That was the point. So anyone who heard me earlier that's getting triggered by the whole gold, rant, it's like you missed the point here. It was to have a question to question value. Nicholas Hunt, that's dope. Tell Donut Factor I said what's up. I appreciate him. I've never heard of this before. Herald of Freedom, I appreciate your kind words. You said, I'm always impressed by the tone and equilibrium of your voice. That really means a lot to me. I'm just trying to speak from my heart. Lola Blondo, I appreciate you being a YouTube member for 23 months. That's amazing. Really means a lot to me. You said that was a fun live stream, had me giggling. Have an amazing week. Super appreciate you. Much love. Appreciate you too. Aztec Kid asks, "Am I a tattoo guy?" No, I do not have any tattoos. Um, and I'm not against them. I think they are what they are. You know, it's a form of art. I appreciate art. I just don't know if I care enough about my body and my avatar to put the art on my skin. But again, not taking anything away from anyone. If that's your way of if that's how you like to what's the proper term here? Sorry, it's getting late. It's 2 hours in. Um, you know, some people like clothes, fashion, some people like dyeing their hair and piercings and like if that's the way you like to express yourself, then that's what's up. You know, that's what's up. It's just art. And I do find a lot of tattoo artists that are passionate about what they're doing. Like, I'm not just talking about the ones that have like a tattoo salon outside of a strip club next to a bar where everyone's stumbling in and getting like a $30, you know, like tramp stamp, like none of that shit. Like actual tattoo artists that will say no, you know, I really respect that. The same thing with any other art form. Like tattoo artists, sometime I know this by the way because I've met many. They get into this pressure where like it's about money. Of course, you have a career, you want to take care of yourself, pay your bills, take care of your family. There's nothing wrong with that. But then you have people coming in that want something that's like really, really not the way to go. And at the end of the day, you are the judge, juror, and executioner of the matter because you have the skill. Right? Like if you were somebody who built houses and you really put a lot of passion into your craft and you were given a budget for the materials and the product, you know, and they designed it in a way where you needed 50% more money in order to accomplish the job with your craft and with your level of passion and care for quality and they weren't willing to give you the money, like sometimes you just got to say no. Like you're not willing to do the job unless you're able to do it the way that you believe is best. And sometimes that stuff happens for tattoo artists, like super cringy shit people want. And like, I really respect the tattoo artists that say no. No. Like, that's a great place to wrap up. I think, like, wrapping up with that, it's okay to say no. In life, there's a lot of shiny objects. There's a lot of times where money comes your way, like where opportunities come your way. And there's nothing wrong with not always being a yes man. This is important for dating, relationships, meeting new people, business partnerships, all things. Sometimes it's okay to say no. And if you really respect what you do, if you really respect the time and effort that you put into the things that you're a part of, and somebody else does not value that and they are holding you back and they want to do things with you, but they still kind of want it more just the whatever it takes to get it done, but not really done the right way or done the way that would be best. Um, it's okay to not work with that person anymore. Like it's okay to go the other way. Sometimes life, the matrix, the simulacrum, it puts those obstacles in your way to test you. Like, and I think that's a good way to wrap this up because some people will walk away from today thinking about that more. The path to abundance is actually more about you avoiding the shiny objects. And what's hilarious is a lot of the time it's the shiny object stuff that are seemingly where the abundance is. So don't get distracted. But I appreciate every single one of you. Tomorrow I'll have a new Red Pill podcast available at patreon.com/waters above. Really looking forward to getting into that. The market's been looking spicy over the past week. Believe XRP got a little bit of above 62 cents, maybe into 63. A little bit of rejection, buyback to around 59 cents. We'll see how this weekly close goes, but Bitcoin getting all the way back up to 66, I believe, almost 67. It's been a little bit of time since I've looked into the charts, but really, really bullish recovery off of that deeper correction that we had in earlier this month. So there's a lot to talk about because we're only about a week and a half out from this monthly close. It feels like July absolutely flew by. So far, July has probably been one of the most crazy months of the year. considering what went down with stuff with Trump and with the like war escalating, the cyber attack. I mean, this has been pretty crazy. And we have the Olympics starting next week, 33rd week of the year starting in a couple weeks. So really setting the foundation for kind of the trajectory of the rest of this year. And I want to talk about a lot of that stuff tomorrow in the new podcast. So I appreciate every single one of you. I'll catch some of you on that, and rest of everyone else. Appreciate you all hanging out with me till the end. Really means the world to me. Wishing you all a beautiful rest of your Saturn day in the Matrix. Much love.